top 10 highest mountains of the world. Number 10. Annapurna 1. Annapurna 1 in Nepal is the 10th highest mountain in the world, and one of the most famous mountains. The height of Annapurna 1 is 8,091 meters. The trekking in Annapurna is truly world-renowned. Annapurna may first be only the 10th highest mountain in the world, but it actually has a higher fatality rate than any other mountain, with 32% of attempts to reach the top of the mountain resulting in a fatality. Number 9. Nanga Parbat. The 9th highest mountain in the world is Nanga Parbat, in the Daimar district of Pakistan's Gilgit-Baltistan region in the western Himalayas. Its height is 8,126 meters. Like many of the other mountains, the name comes from Sanskrit, with Nanga and Parvata meaning naked mountain. The Tibetan name for the mountain Daimar, meaning huge mountain, is maybe a bit more appropriate. Nanga Parbat truly towers over the surrounding, low-lying valleys around it in every direction. The stunning Rupal face on the mountain rises a full 4,600 m above its base, and is often called the highest mountain face in the world. Number 8. MANASLU. MANASLU is the 8th highest mountain in the world. The name actually comes from the Sanskrit word manasa, which means intellect or soul. Its height is 8,163 meters. Manaslu was first scaled by Toshio Imanishiro and Giles and Norbu, who were part of a Japanese expedition which reached the top of the mountain on May 9, 1956. Locals of the area had prevented a Japanese team from reaching the top in 1954, believing that previous attempts had displeased the gods and caused avalanches that destroyed a monastery in the area, killing 18 people. Number 7. DHAULAGIRI. The Dhaulagiri in Nepal is the 7th highest mountain in the world at 8,167 meters, and one of the most aesthetically stunning mountains of the lot. The Dhaulagiri was first climbed on May 13, 1960, but is perhaps best known for its visibility on the popular Annapurna circuit, with Annapurna 1 just 34 kilometers away, and the Dhaulagiri a regular feature on the skyline while trekking Annapurna. Number 6. Cho Oyu. The 6th highest mountain in the world is Cho Oyu at 8,188 meters. It is located in Himalayan range, Tibet. Cho Oyu is considered the easiest of the 8,000 m mountains to climb due to the gentler slopes of the ascent. It's also just a few kilometers away from the Nangpa La Pass, a major trading route between the Tibetan and Khumbu Sherpas. Number 5. MAKALU. MAKALU is the 5th highest mountain in the world at 8,485 meters. It is located in the Himalayan range in Tibet. It was first summited by a French expedition led by Jean Franco in 1955. Their ascent was most notable for the fact that a full 10 members of the expedition team summited the mountain on the trip. In those days, it was normally only 1 or 2 climbers from each team who reached the top of the mountain on an expedition, but luckily all members of this team reached the top of this mountain. Number 4. LHOTSE. LHOTSE is the 4th highest mountain in the world at 8,516 meters. It is located in the Himalayan range in Tibet. It is one of the more famous mountains on any list of the top 10 highest mountains in the world, largely because of its proximity to Mount Everest. The route up LHOTSE is the same as that up Mount Everest from Everest Base Camp until you pass Camp 3, and then depart to the rice couloir from the LHOTSE face, from where the peak of LHOTSE is reached. Number 3. Kangchenjunga. Kangchenjunga is the 3rd highest mountain in the world at 8,586 meters. It can be found between Nepal and Sikkim in India, with 3 of the peaks on the border and the other 2 in the Taplejung district of Nepal. This makes Kangchenjunga the highest peak in India. The mountain was actually thought to be the highest mountain in the world until 1852. This wasn't because people didn't know about Mount Everest, but because they had done their calculations wrong. After further homework by the Great Trigonometrical Survey of India, it was discovered that actually Kangchenjunga was the third highest mountain in the world, and children around the world breathed a sigh of relief that they would be primarily learning about Mount Everest instead, a mountain which is significantly easier to both say and spell. Number 2. K2. The second highest mountain in the world is K2 at 8,611 meters. It is located in the Karakoram Range, Pakistan. The mountain took its name from the notation used by the Great Trigonometrical Survey of British India. At the time, there wasn't an apparent local name for the mountain, and so it stuck. K2 is also nicknamed the Savage Mountain. The mountain is typically considered one of the toughest mountains in the world to climb, notoriously harder than Mount Everest, despite being the second tallest mountain in the world. K2 actually has the second highest fatality rate per summit attempt of all mountains over 8,000 meters, with around 300 successful summits and 77 deaths. Number 1. Mount Everest. Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world at 8,848 meters. It is located in the Himalayan range in Nepal. Everest has come under a lot of scrutiny recently. Photographs showing enormous queues near the summit have opened a huge debate about overcrowding on Everest. One thing's for sure though, the inherent draw of Mount Everest is not going to go away anytime soon. Mankind is drawn to the mountain like moths to a flame. As well as those looking to take the route from Everest Base Camp to the summit, trekking to Everest Base Camp itself is also hugely popular. In fact, it's become one of the world's most famous multi-day treks. That's all for today. See you in the next video.